And we are back. We are back, you guys, after taking a week off there for Christmas. We are back here for another episode of Mount Schmoedown. We have a first on this channel. We have a crossover with our men from the North. Schmoes of the North will be joining us here today as we talk about the amazingness that is the Pit Boss, Ken Napzok. I don't even know what to say. We'll be going into this a lot more in depth, but let's just go ahead and bring on our boys from the North. Fellas, how's it going?
Bonjour. It's cold and snowy up here. How about you guys?
It's 45 degrees and clear skies, so I can't complain.
It's right now, it's just a mild 55 with some sun, but the moment it gets 2 hours from now, the sun's going to go away, and then it's just going to be back to darkness. So.
Yeah, I think where I'm at right now, it's like 2, maybe 3 degrees Celsius, so it's probably around where you guys are.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the conversions in my head.
Yeah,
I know 61 is 16. That's the only one I know off the top of my head because it works pretty well and it's easy to remember. But
all that being said, snow sucks. And
yes, it does.
Wearing long johns sucks even more.
Yep.
That is true. Snow's not fun whatsoever. So
no.
We're all 6 of us here. We're here to talk about, in my opinion, the guy that has the best quips on the desk. Hands freaking down. I love when I see him on the desk because I know we're going to get some serious comedy gold.
Oh, yeah.
We've also had times where he gave an answer out to a customer. I mean,
yes.
That is one of my favorite Napzok moments. Is he's like, oh, sorry. He literally gave him the answer. He's like, whoop.
Yeah,
my bad.
I'm so glad they cut that out for the Quick Clips channel because that's funny.
Yeah. So
I mean,
yeah, Ryan, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, other than like him, get just the quips and the accidental answers. Of course, the Napzok moment is every time he talks about his favorite restaurants, which is Del Taco or 7-Eleven. So it's like he shoves it in at the end of almost like every time he's on the desk. It's like, yeah, it reminds me of when I went into a 7-Eleven and got myself a PB&J.
And wasn't it him that introduced the famed Ecuadorian commentator JTE? Yeah.
Long time ago.
God,
watching those matches in season 1 and 2, you're just like, God, this is like, it feels like a lifetime ago since we watched these. Like, they're just not the same.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, like one of the matches we watched in preparation for this, it doesn't seem like it was 3 years ago.
Right? It doesn't.
Yeah, the evolution is crazy. And just going on a 7-Eleven thing, he talked about it so much, it pisses me off we don't have it in Canada.
Well, we do, just we don't have the stuff he talks about.
Yeah. Precision. In Quebec, we don't have it. I'm like, I want to taste what he's saying.
Yeah, I like there's a 7-Eleven like a 5-minute walk for me, and they don't have any like the ice creams or any of the other stuff that him and like people like Clark have talked about. It's very disappointing.
Yeah. Want to give a shout out to our boy 50 Shades.
Hey, 50!
50 Shades.
50 Shades worked on a video here for us of just like top Ken Napzok moments, which we will most likely be posting on this channel as a separate video because it's 13 minutes long and we want to play it on this episode. But there are some pretty good moments that he was able to capture there. Ken Napzok has been inside the Schmoedown for so long. He has retired as a competitor, as a manager, but he's still going to be on the desk, which is all I care about.
Thank you, Lord. Yes, we need Bobby the Brain Heenan. We need him.
Yeah. Christian made sure to say, yes, he will be on the desk. I'm like, good, because like you could tell when he was competing, like he was doing it because Christian asked him to. Yeah. Like he was never like, he didn't look like he wanted to be there as much competing. I think he enjoyed cutting promos, which he's a godsend on promos. Like you could give him the word of bacon and he could cut a killer ass promo on the word bacon.
Even he didn't need to talk. Like during the best part of season 5 on his heel turn, all he had to do was simply walk out, pull up a whiteboard, write something on it, and then that was it. He didn't need to say anything for you to like laugh or like hate him.
That was I'd say that was the last time. That run we were just talking about right now, where from when he won his Star Wars title to when he lost it, I think that's the last time he was actually fully invested in being a competitor, because watching those matches, you can tell he's in it. And then after he lost, and then after the Lions Den loss, you could tell, I'm done.
Yeah.
Last match he had against was against No. So afterwards it was like,
Yeah.
So, you were gonna say something, Frenchie. Go right ahead. Sorry for that.
I'm just curious. I'll start with me. But what is your first exposure to Napzok? Because me, it wasn't even the Schmoedown. I can't remember what it was exactly. It was they were like doing this impression game, and I remember seeing this guy with a ponytail. I'm like, who the hell is this? So I knew him as the guy with the ponytail, and then I got exposed to him in Schmoedown. What was your
Napzok's ponytail? Someone creates that.
That was good, because we were definitely gonna immediately talk about our introduction to Napzok. I mean,
My bad.
I mean, that's good, but that's great because we get carried away sometimes. So it's always good to like naturally go into this. Daniel, what about you? What was like your introduction to Napzok? If Schmoedown or not?
Well, yeah, I don't actually think it was on Schmoedown. I think it was on Screen Junkies that I first saw Ken Napzok. And because I only started watching in season 5, but I started watching season 3. So I've watched a lot of Schmoedown in the last few years because I caught up and then started watching week to week. But
Nice.
yeah, I met him like either on Movie Fights or on like SJU, and just I really liked his personality, and like I didn't know anything about his Star Wars knowledge because I really don't know a lot about Star Wars. So
yeah, first time I saw Ken was watching Jedi Council. That's how I found the Schmoedown. I was watching, I think it was one of the videos, it was like a month or two before Force Awakens.
Okay.
I saw Christian, and they teased this thing called the Schmoedown. Checked it out. The rest is history. I've been hooked ever since. Ken is probably my favorite Star Wars online pundit. I just like how he always tries to find the positive side in Star Wars, and he always, like, you can tell he could talk Star Wars all freaking day, 24/7, 365.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My introduction is actually very similar to yours, also from around the same time, but me, it was the first Movie Fights after Force Awakens came out, and that's also my first introduction to Dan Merle. And so watching Ken on there and going, oh, this guy's funny, and then hearing Dan plug the Spectacular One right afterwards, like, oh, I gotta check this out. And then being a massive wrestling fan, I was hooked right off the bat.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Go ahead, Ben. Yeah.
My first knowledge of Ken was the Schmoes show. Like right around the time he started at Collider on Movie Talk. So I came in a little bit of that everyone out.
Yeah. I do gotta bounce off you guys. Yeah, my introduction with Ken was definitely during the time of like AMC Movie Talk, even when they were talking about like with Jedi, like Jedi Council. That's when I got introduced to Ken, especially whenever it was like him and Campion like on the desk talking Star Wars. Then of course later Christian came on, and I came into Schmoedown around season 4, which like after right around the time of the collision. So it was during the time Ken was like a very prominent player in that league. So it was just amazing seeing his like natural charisma, like just his like you guys said, his passion for loving Star Wars.
Yeah, I love those videos so much. I wish they still did them once in a while.
I wish they brought them back. But even with that, going through Ken's matches, I just know like in one of the comment sections of Ken's matches, so I don't know if the comments saying that Ken, next to Mike Kalinowski, is the most naturally likable guy. Yeah. And this is like during like season 4, like when Ken was like really just being positive, really loving this game. And then, of course, you go to season 5 later on. It's like, I hate this guy so damn much, but he's so entertaining to watch. So much we can go off of Ken. Go right ahead.
That's where his wrestling background comes into, is he knows how to play the heel, because basically the whole point of the heel is to make you hate him. And he was really good at that. And hands down, for me, the epitome of that is his promo he cut right after the match where he officially turned on Rachel, when it's him and Harloff going back and forth, and he says, I'm done doing this for everyone else, now it's my time. And I'm like, dude, that is still one of the best promos in the league.
And that's where it clicked for me. I actually got attached to heel Napzok more than face, but that promo got me on his side and really started this love relationship with him.
Mm.
Oh man, well, we can definitely keep talking about our love of Ken, but why don't we try? Let's do a quick look at his play, pretty much him as a player throughout the league. I know we're going to talk more about him as a manager and definitely him on the desk, but just right now, it's him as a player. From that previous comment that you brought up, Brandon, Leo Logan saying, first match was Ken Napzok versus Katie Sackhoff, and that match was definitely used in every time you saw the Schmoedown package, but it was mainly Katie guessing Alyssa Milano from that 80s question, and it was just that was a really good match between those two. I mean, it wasn't the strongest or the most preferred match you want to recommend people to, but I kind of like that because not only was it just an introduction to the Schmoedown for the ultimate Schmoedown, it was, you see the fact that they were playing it for the love of the game and how everyone was just laughing and playing along. Like they didn't care if the answers were right or not. It was just, we're just going to guess these questions to see what happens.
Which you're still going to see, spoilers for a match we're probably going to talk about later, but going into the season 4 and 5, you were still seeing that a little bit. I miss that aspect of the game because now it seems like everybody's taking it way too seriously. I miss it when everyone's here just having fun, and I think for me that's one of the detriments of having the faction is we lose that sense of fun where we're just here to play games. Now you actually have a reason to be focused, and I kind of feel it took away from the enjoyment of it a little bit for me.
Well, we don't have players we knew we did have McCougar and Elliot, but now McCougar's gone, and Elliot is on corruption. Yeah, you're right. We're missing that playful, not care about winning type of thing anymore.
Without a doubt. But go ahead.
Actually, before we kind of get started here, just a quick little breakdown of his matches. Ken is 1-3 in singles, 2-5 in teams, 1-4 in Star Wars.
Oh wow!
That's So in Star Wars, he won his first match. That one with what was it? It was
the 5-way.
It was Whitworth, Johns, Jenny Nicholson, and with John Campia.
Yeah,
at Star Wars Celebration. I believe that's 20.
That would have been season 4. No,
2017. Yeah, I think 2017.
Yeah, 2017. Jesus.
That is the only Star Wars match he's won ever.
Which is amazing to think this is the guy that literally wrote the book on Star Wars.
Yeah, he wrote a book literally called Why We Love Star Wars. So then he loses his next 4.
Good book.
It's a good read.
His next one is, in my opinion, one of my top 5 Schmoedown matches of all time. The Star Wars Iron Man match at Schmoedown Spectacular 2 against Whitworth.
And it still holds up, man. I just watched it an hour ago.
Yeah, 30 minutes, just repeated, I know they're supposed to be 1-point questions, but there were some questions in there that I'm like, those are not easy Star Wars questions.
Yeah, well, this goes into a point that I don't know. I can't remember where Daniel had mentioned it, but I think it was we were talking to Snyder about how questions in the old days were harder because they didn't have the context clues we have nowadays. And a lot of the questions in that match were just like, okay, who said this? There were a lot of quote questions where you didn't really have any context. There's no way I could have hung back then.
And Napzok, they even commented during that match, and it's not Napzok's strength, the quotes, right? So I can only imagine.
I like it. Hey, I told Chalisky, no quotes.
Anything that goes in the match, even if I'm not saying even if it was a legitimately unfair question or it was just a question that threw you off, Ken knew how to exactly bounce back, showing the comedy skit, the comedy chops he had. Oh yeah, I was definitely going to.
That would totally count.
Yes, that counts as a teams match. It's the only genre-specific teams match we've ever gotten. Every other teams match is in the general trivia. We've never had another team Star Wars or energy.
You're not wrong.
In all fairness, in all fairness, Freddie Prinze Jr. wasn't really playing, so it was kind of more of a handicap match. It was really more of a handicap match.
Okay,
Match,
true.
that is the best back and forth of talk. Freddie Prinze, yeah, he knows he's not going to play, but he's still going to let you know he's here.
Yeah.
And one thing that was special about this match, and I know I've talked about this with Brandon and Ben in previous episodes, this was the first match that brought in the whiteboard.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. Like if
After
you go
this
through
match, you had to say what was on your. Before you just had to show it, but it was because Freddie had one question where he wrote down one thing, but said
Empire.
another.
It was Empire Strikes Back. The last question, like complete this, like why you stuck up, half-witted, scruffy-looking blank.
Nerf herder. Yeah.
Everyone said Nerf herder, but he didn't have Nerf herder written on his whiteboard. He knew it was Nerf herder. He just because he was third person to answer that question. It was just like, oh, I'm next, and it was because that was a big deal. It was the reason why we got the celebration match of Star Wars, because after the Force Bros beating the Council, Ken and John did a video talking about that because the fans had pointed that out, and they wanted a rematch at Celebration, but unfortunately Freddie was on scheduling conflicts, so
Yeah.
it led to that 5-way to crown the first Star Wars champion.
I've actually never seen this match. I should probably go back and watch it because I've surprisingly heard that this was a lot of people's gateway match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
it,
believe
it was a good one. It was a really good one.
And
That
that was a heavy points match. A heavy points match.
Final score because it went to sudden death.
Yes.
Yeah, that match, I was watching it earlier today, and it's the most confusing match ever.
They spun twice. They spun.
There are 12 questions.
Yeah.
There are 12 questions in the first round. There are 3 in the second. And then the third round plays exactly like it does today, even though I believe in that season they were still using 1 point for the first question in the third
Yeah,
round.
that didn't come about till later, but that's season
It
3,
was.
correct?
And
It
also,
was weird.
So
and also with that match, they spun twice.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. But go ahead, Brand. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, okay. So there's 8 questions in that first round, but the council got 13 points. Force Pros got 11. Then round 2, Team Jedi Council got opponent's choice because they spun away from weapons and vehicles. So Sam and Freddie gave them weapons and vehicles. They did okay. They got a steal because Prince
Force
and
Pros.
Whitwer got Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And then, really weird, they spin again.
Yeah.
Like there's another set of questions there in round 2. Round 3 was the betting round, which was a classic trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Round 4 was the speed round, and then, like they said, round 5 was it was a 1-3-5.
Yeah, and that's where it led to that sudden death. Freddie, and here's the funny part: in that round 5, Sam and Freddie got the really confusing, like the difficult categories, because their 1-pointer was in cast and characters, their 3-pointer was who said it, and their 5-pointer was Rogue One, which at that time, Rogue One
would have
was
just
out
come out.
Like
yeah,
a
it
week.
just came
It
out.
had been out like a week.
Yes. So
Because
it was the
Christian
most-
makes a joke about it in the Star Wars 5-way, the next match when Rogue One came out, and Christian's like to Sam, yes, it's been out for a while now.
yeah. So the Force Bros match was fantastic. And then the sudden death match, which is a format that's not used anymore, was when they got buzzards out, and it was pretty much they give you a question. If you get it right, you got to get the next one right to win.
Yeah.
And it was funny because in that match, trust me, you watch it. Sam, I believe it was an attack. It was an Attack of the Clones match. It was a question on Star Wars, obviously. And before Christian can even say anything, Sam hits a button like, which Jedi was surrounded by? And Sam hits it. He doesn't even wait for the whole question. He asks, "What was it?" No, you just got to answer. And he just blankly says, "Obi-Wan Kenobi." And they're just like, "How the hell did you know that?"
When all else fails, Obi-Wan. It's like multiple choice. If all else fails, answer C.
Also, if you want to hear us talk more about Sam Witwer, me, Ben, and Ryan, we did do an episode on Witwer a while back. It is on the channel. It's definitely one of my favorite ones that we did because we talk about he's the only one that has ever gotten revenge on a legit question.
Yeah.
Captain Nita. He's the only one that's ever like. There's been some with like there's like a movie that people sort of got revenge on. No, Sam legit. Literally the character that cost him that Star Wars 5-way is the person he gets in that another 5-way with it was him, Grimshaw, Damon.
The Explainer, Alex Damon. Now that's a nickname.
I'm so glad that they changed it to the Demon because the Explainer is the.
Also, there was I'm forgetting the other two. I mean, I know their names. They're very
Nerd Girl. I just don't know her real name. And Skill Saunders.
Yeah, Skill Saunders.
Skill Saunders. Yeah. Okay. That's that fifth part. I couldn't remember.
It was and to bounce off Brandon, it was unique because some competitors most likely later in their career got revenge on a movie they missed. But it's unique for Sam because it was literally one that cost him an opportunity to win a 5-way, and he gets it again to win another 5-way. It's something we have not seen yet, and it's just that random stroke of luck we're not getting again.
Yeah, God, yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, literally, someone asked him if he's ever coming back. He basically said no.
I wonder why. Like, I know why he had to relinquish, but I wonder why he's not coming back.
I think, if I remember right, it was at the time Christian didn't have a lot of people to market and promote, so he used Sam for that. Christian doesn't need Sam. But, like, we need the Damon Whitwer match. I want that match.
We have to get it in. That's one I was thinking about. We have to get that in the live era. Like, that's not something you can do in digital because that is Jericho Smith level main event for live show.
Yeah, and that.
Frenchie, you go, and then Ben, you can go. Frenchie and Ben, yeah.
That tie into Ken Napzok. Would you say Whitmore is Napzok's greatest rival in the Schmoedown?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Although I would have to say there are two better rivals that Napzok has constantly said is his.
Yep.
But Ben, go ahead. Ben, go ahead before we talk more about this. Go ahead. Ben, what were you going to say?
Can you imagine if the first live fit back after this whole match is a Sam and Damon match? It won't be. Like, can you imagine that?
I could.
Can't imagining it. Like that is, and no offense to any fans, Schmoedown fans who are part of groups or factions or who follow Schmoedown competitors in their own YouTube channels. That is, without a doubt, the top requested match I want to see. Even if it's a special Patreon exhibition match, I want to see that.
Yeah, that is easily the white whale of matches.
Yeah, it truly is a shame that we will probably never. Like, if Christian put out all right, we got to raise $5,000 on SCN to get Whitwer.
Oh, they'll fucking do it easily.
Oh my God,
they'll double it.
You have to get as many Schmoedown fans to watch that SCN. No, not just within a day. It has to be a goal they set. Every day on SCN, they'll have their sub goal. But then their main goal is that 5,000 just to get Sam Whitwer.
Well, like, most people never thought we'd possible to have Kevin Smith, and let alone, Le Champion himself.
Yeah.
Whitwer was already on Schmoedown. I think it's just a question of time. It really is. And I can't wait. Like, if there's a reason Napzok would have to come back from the woodwork, would be to face Whitwer again, maybe even a 3-way match against Damon eventually.
Nah, truthfully, I don't want that. I just want straight one-on-one. Personally, I think as we've seen, especially with this year in the tournament, the Star Wars game has passed Ken by. There's only so much knowledge you can hold. Now it's into terms of you need the strategy and whatever, and I don't think he cares enough.
So the thing is, I don't think he studies. He's just like, he's always talking Star Wars. He just knows it, but like,
you would need to study to beat Damon.
Yeah. So before the Star Wars tournament, after he cut that promo, I was like, damn, that was a good ass promo. Mm-hmm. So I did a little preview video because I thought maybe, man, people are underestimating him. Maybe he uses that to drive him. So I thought he was going to beat Ace. And then you watch that match and he just doesn't care.
Ha! Very nice. I was wondering what the hell you were doing.
If I'm not mistaken, this is exactly the same one too, and that's why I got it too.
He also wore that at the third live event in LA when he Mike and Chance interrupted Mara at her post interview. Like the official like debut of corruption. Like
Oh man, that should have gone a lot further than it did. That combo.
Oh wait, Chance, Napzok, and
No. Originally, it was during Anarchy when Chance, when Mike had gotten Chance as a partner and Ken had picked as his manager, and then they made their official debut. They made their official trios debut together. It was those three throughout the later of season 5.
Yeah.
Then around season 6, they got Grace to come back. Then they got Stacy. Then came Tim Franco in that one for the team of Crimson Fury.
Yeah.
And it was during that time in season 6. Yeah, Mike had himself one hell of a year with Grace and Ken as his backup as his managers. And then slowly we got Shannon,
which I'm not regretting. Like Shannon's been a godsend for me.
Dude,
but
Shannon, I know that she'll probably win heel of the year, but my issue is she's too well liked. Like for me, if you love them being a heel, are they really a heel? That's why for me,
it is a good question. Honestly, I do think
because their
why she's gonna win.
Their job is for you to absolutely, utterly hate them, Chandru. For me,
it's effortless though.
Mike even had that good. Even Mike had that sense during the early run of season 7 before everything went down. After they beat the family, Mike was kind of like, "Look at me, I'm good looking. I got a married woman. I'm a great player. Why don't you like me?" Like, and he's doing that with a lollipop in his hand. So it's kind of like, well,
as a villain, like I think we're all comic book geeks probably. Joker is a horrible person, but we love Joker, right?
Oh.
It's okay to love the villain. It doesn't make them less of a villain.
And I mean,
talking about the Joker.
You're supposed, like in comic book lore, you're supposed to hate. You're supposed to hate Joker. You're supposed to hate Lex Luthor. You're supposed to hate Darkseid. You're supposed to hate Thanos. But because you love the fact that these guys are so evil, or sometimes in certain comic runs or movie portrayals, you get to see that they make sense. They just don't have. They have the balls to not give a damn about the moral consequences, and it's something that, of course, something we can't see here on the Schmoedown because there have been times where people are in character to where not many competitors are really ready for that. And obviously, one of the biggest examples I've seen was during season 6 when Mike was truly a heel. And his rematch against Mara, and then also in that MCU 5-way when it was him, Sean Gerber, Rachel Cushing, like you can tell because during that 5-way exhibition, Rachel was just not in the mood to play around, like she was there for the fun of it. And then you can also see in her in his match against Mara, she for the championship, she even was not prepared or ready for this character aspect, at least the way that Mike was going. So,
I look at all this from a wrestling background more so than a comic book background or whatever. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the best bad guys that you remember are always the ones we love. Like, think The Rock started off as a heel, and he was so good at what he did, the fans started cheering him. Stone Cold Steve Austin was another one, Austin 316. He was a heel when he did that, and then slowly fans started coming with the Austin 316 signs. Yeah. Bobby the Brain Heenan was a heel his entire career, but everybody loves him because he was funny. Roman Reigns right now, best heel in the business, hands down. And people love what he's doing. They're saying it's the best work. So if you're doing your job really good, you're going to get cheered.
Yeah, you got to agree. Danny, we haven't heard much, but what about you? Like, even if not talking about like this whole face heel dynamic, like just your general sense with Ken. Like, does he work great as a face? Does he work better as a heel? Like, what? Actually, I'll throw that topic out for Ken Napzok. What is your preferred like face heel moments for Ken? Like, you love him better as a face, or he just sticks out more to you as a heel? Because let's just talk about this honestly.
No kidding.
I mean, best heel moment for him is like, I mean, kudos to the Star Wars promo that he cut this year, but it's definitely just not showing up for a match.
Yeah.
And then congratulating the opponent.
These guys.
And Rachel still almost beat them.
I know.
Honestly,
and this was early, Rachel.
Give her 1.5 points in round 1, and she probably beats that team.
Yeah. I mean, but that match ended like a TKO victory, though. But even then, she still came to play. And look, I love Shannon, but Shannon will never, ever, ever ever to what Ken Napzok did when he turned his back on Rachel.
100%.
I mean, this is not bias. This is not nostalgia. I mean, if someone shares this clip, and if someone shares this, and then Shannon just goes like, "Hey, I'm a better heel and suck it, nerds." Yeah, this nerd's gonna suck on the nostalgia tweet on the nostalgia because Ken Napzok set the ground for so many heels coming. Like he did it better than Roka. He does it better than Kalinowski. Like when he comes to play as the heel, he turns it on.
Yeah, Roka was the stepping stone. Ken was this is what it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Ben, you were gonna say something before I interrupted you.
I mean, that moment when that dude, it was so seamless and natural. It was a beautiful heel moment, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Ken, that's never gonna happen. That is never gonna happen.
Hold on.
If you knew me, I have a utter, absolute disdain for the Yankees. Mainly
Everyone's
because
going.
Wait, it's here.
How's that, Ken?
Oh,
Just for you, my man.
I came prepared with my Star Wars.
Goalies Expo. I know it's right.
But
so before we
Yeah, they're
move
playing really good
forward-
in Washington, Lou.
Before we move forward, Garth McMurray sent here a little clip of what basically Whitworth said about coming back.
Many people want me to return to movie trivia to take on Damon for the Star Wars belt.
If you're good, you should help. Well, I mean,
Yeah, no, we're good.
Deacon St. Cuthbert
I'm
is
a paladin.
compelled
Yeah, here.
to do good.
He asked me to assassinate you. Here's the thing, dude. I make Star Wars stuff. It's not appropriate for me to be owned by the movie trivia Schmoedown, and I didn't think that by doing it once that I would have to do it over and over again. You know,
You're being. Who brought that up again?
yeah.
Running people
yeah.
want to return to the movie. Yeah.
You know, and there are people that are like, "Well, just do it one more time and defend your title." I'll be like, "Yeah, but then if I win, then
you have to
someone's
defend
gonna be
your
like, we
title."
got to defend your title."
Yeah, come on, man.
I didn't know anything about defending my title. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I already was
You
on
ain't
there.
got shit to prove, man.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
You're a paper champion. So wait, Skull trying to assassinate me? No one could be that dumb. Not with.
Okay, I get it. I get it now.
But it's this hard thing at the same time. It almost felt like he did it once and then he got kind of trapped to do it over and over. And at one point, he's like, no. That kind of breaks my heart.
Which, hearing that now, it all makes sense. Which, you know what? If it also should be right that a guy who is in Star Wars, should be
he
doing
kind of has
that.
an advantage over people. I mean, even that same argument can be said with Damon. The fact that he runs a YouTube channel practically playing Star Wars, you think that gives him an edge.
But all of them do now.
Yeah, all of them do. Like Laura Kelly, she does. I mean, she had a podcast, Force Toast. She's now doing a YouTube show, The Jedi Way, with John Roca. Dimalanta, he definitely talks Star Wars with his wife, and even Scrimshaw, co-host with Force Center with Ken Napzok. So it's like everyone has a niche somewhere, and especially with Ace Cabrera when he was part of Jedi Council, and then I forget the one he does with Emma, a part of First Cut.
Something Sabak.
I think that's a Bachway, or is this the
No, Sabak the Block.
The block, yeah.
Sabak the Block, yes. But let's definitely move forward. I mean, we can talk Napzok Star Wars until our mouths run dry. But one thing I do want to talk about with Napzok as a player before we move on to him as a manager, he was a surprisingly good teams player. Because despite that record, his run with Rachel Cushing, the Nerds Watch, during their first two matches, it was a solid run from them. And then, of course, their loss at the Collision against Rotten Tomatoes. Because if you really look at that, they just missed their 5-pointer in Dance. And when I watched that, I remembered, like, before season 7, Christian talked about wanting to do what-if matches on the Patreon of matches of what if scenarios. And my favorite what-if scenario could have been, what if match was the Nerds Watch versus the Patriots? Because after Rotten Tomatoes beat them, they changed their name to MODOK and played the Patriots. So if the Nerds Watch won, we could have gotten them and the Patriots in that same season.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities, and when we're watching the Shirewolves versus Lions Den, yeah, you're right. Ken was very good at teams. He carried them into that third round, and he's more knowledgeable than we and even him give it credit for.
We're talking about Dagnino. Of course, he had to carry the team.
Yeah, but hey, man, Dagnino back in those days was sneakily good too when he wanted to.
Or the most recent, or Dagnino's match.
Ken, you are the farthest thing from useless. This league would not be where it is without you.
Yeah, I've said it once before. I'll say it again. You are Bobby the Brain Heenan for movie trivia, man. You're the greatest.
Yeah, I think everyone assumed. He knows
you're not wrong.
Star Wars. All he knows is Star. No, he knows a lot more than Star Wars.
You want that Lions Den match? That 3-pointer he pulled off of Action Adventure. I forgot the name of the actor, but the question he actually pulled for El Mariachi was such a very good pull because I know of the Desperado trilogy, but I have never seen El Mariachi to know who was the lead actor of that film.
And that goes to what Daniel said earlier about no context clues. I saw that, I was like, how the fuck are you going to get that?
You know it or you don't type of questions, right? And that's how I knew it.
Yeah.
Just the art of writing questions is, for me, I see it as an art form because there are ways where you could write a question that literally hands the answer to them on a silver platter. Like you give like the year, the genre, the actor. Yeah, like most people are going to get that. But say you only give like one of those. So say you just say this 2007 action movie has this person as this character. It's a lot harder.
Yeah, but this question didn't even have that. It was the name was starred in what movie. That's literally all it was.
You're like, unless it's one of the main ones, you're probably not going to.
Yeah, and for it to be El Mariachi, like that's a tough one. That's more of a 5-pointer in my opinion.
So Ken goes 2-5 in teams, and here's his combined stats though through singles and teams. It's not that bad.
It's really not. I mean, look at the point. Bring that back up. The point differentials you see. Obviously, of course, round 1 is like a big cut. But look at round 2 and round 3. You see that's where he definitely where he cuts his teeth.
Also, you need to point out that those are stats from eras where people were scoring at that level statistically, and not in today's era where it's, the higher point totals are 80 to 90%.
And
Ken has not played a lot in.
And what's interesting when you look at his round 3, I didn't put it up here, but he's 5 of 6 on his 2-pointers, 5 of 6 on his 3-pointers. He's 1 of 6 on his 5-pointers. So those round 3 stats are basically based on his 5-pointer.
Daniel, that was a good thing you brought up, Daniel, comparing those stats with like back during the time of season 4 to 6 and now. Let's see if Ken had been playing. Let's see if Ken had these statistics during season 7. Where would you guys actually think he would rank, like within, like certain players? Like, depending on like top 10, 15 of statistically ranked players, where would you think those stats would have put him? To me, I think it would have gotten him somewhere near the top 10, but he could have even broken into that in my mind.
The thing is, teams right now is so deep that you miss 1-2 questions, you lose the match. That's how deep. And I think the teams division right now is probably my favorite division. Just because.
Don't tell Harloff.
I mean, Christian said that as of right now, they're putting a pause on the teams division because the online format, I don't like it either. But just in terms of any team can take the title. Like we saw it this year. So Founding Father starts the year with the title, then goes to Corruption, then goes to Shazam, then goes Odd Couple.
Yeah, it's been released on public, so people know. Yeah, it's been released on the public.
Yeah, it dropped yesterday. So
it hasn't been defended this year. I think what has any title other than singles?
Well, now as of now, it's the Star Wars build and
IG.
That's right. IG did get
first time that the IG belt's been defended since Inman did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I put like a little asterisk next to it because the division has changed drastically since Inman defended it.
I think the division IG is constantly changing. It's constantly evolving because not just of questions, but because of categories and because of movies being released. Now that IG is becoming mainstream, and even now, most recently, Christian have posted, "What slices do you want to see?" I saw people putting down slices they want to see in IG, like Jurassic Park, Terminator, Aliens, James Bond, Fast and Furious, hell, the Twilight movies.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, if all 5 of them are put in there, it's no longer IG. It just becomes like popular films division. To me, IG is meant to be with the nerdy stuff.
He's like, Biden,
Yeah, exactly. Even
To speak to that,
podcast, the same thing. So many people said that. The moment they walked in with like binders of notes of like so many goddamn stuff right there. Yeah,
and that's why I love Ken Napzok. He's the coolest realist. You realize at this point, nah, I'm out. He doesn't go for something he knows, he feels in his gut it's not right for him, and he's really the best realist out there.
That man and not just because he's watching this, so this isn't kissing ass, but that man seriously is my spirit animal.
Okay,
well, to speak to what he said, and also like if his stats would hold up this year, I say it depends on the team's partner because like most of the team's division is pairing knowledge bases together because one team holds up round 2 or the other player holds up round 2, and you gotta be able to hit a wide field, and Ken has a lot of those fields covered. You just need to find the person with the right puzzle piece,
Or in this case, someone who knows the Star Wars quotes. Sorry, Ken.
Even though the cover the most recent release of films. Go ahead, Frenchie. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, so you're going from kissing his ass and insulting him with this side soda. Come on, man.
Hey, man, I make fun of people I like. Sue me.
Yeah, you only roast the ones you love.
Exactly.
Guys,
that explains why I give you shit a lot, Lou.
Yeah,
but you're always nice to me. What's up with that?
Guys,
you're too innocent.
Okay, guys, we've talked about Vince Clare, but now let's talk about pretty much where he truly shines. As pretty much on the microphone, either if he's on the desk or as a manager.
He might be the best person on the mic.
Easily.
Of the Schmoedown. Like, you can just tell that's what he enjoys. The system kept me down. The system!
How much of that do you think comes? What's the percentage-wise of how much of that is his wrestling? How much is that his comedic timing?
I think
so.
I think the comedic timing. Oh, go ahead.
I think it's both because he has been in wrestling, so he knows, he understands what Christian is going for, but he's also a hilarious man. Like dude, those quips on the desk. I swear, if I had time, I would literally go through every match, but to find out, all right, is Ken on the desk? Nope, Ken's not on the desk. All right, move on to the next match. And
50, you're an international treasure, man. I love you too much.
Oh, wait. I have one quote of Ken on the desk, and it was during the time when Ben and Brandon and I were covering Brianne Chandler. It was Perry versus Brianne, and Napzok says, "I'm so glad I went to a thrift store to pick up this wrinkled shirt to be with you today." And then, of course, when he's talking about Roka, this is the best dig I've heard in a while. If you're looking at this match as a Tinder profile and it's Roka, you'd be wise to swipe right.
One of my favorite things he used. Sorry, go ahead, Lou.
And not to forget, he is the master of self-deprecating humor. Like, number of times he shot himself, like with his last time he had a relationship or this type of 11 stuff. He is the master of making fun of himself. And no one else does like
Capri Sun, for anybody who remembers that from the Schmoedown live show.
Nah.
I also during the time of the show was the trial of JT. He actually was a lawyer, like going to become JT, or he was the announcer.
He was the prosecutor, correct?
I believe so. It's been a while. I didn't get a chance to rewatch that because I was so busy going through his matches. But even in his match after against beating Katie Sackhoff, like he was just wearing like, "Hey, I mean, I can't remember the line exactly, but he just goes, look, I missed the question, and then it was fair play for you to miss the question, and hopefully one of us was going to get it right. But
I mean,
no problem, like really making fun of himself.
I'm sure a lot of like backstage owes itself to Inside Schmoedown with the Pitbox.
Yes.
Which I was just about to bring up. Yeah.
Go ahead.
That is like perfectly the like backstage show that has character but also delves deeper into. And I mean, I'm not sure people understood that that's what backstage was always supposed to be, and like I don't know, like people complain about it being too much in character when like clearly that is what it was. And like Inside Schmoedown is that, but perfect.
And no one else does it like you, sir.
Yeah, you are the master at that. No, my favorite thing that he's ever done on the mic is the backstage stuff, especially when he like makes a point, but then he like, hey, RB3, can we do that? And when he would talk to RB3 off the camera and stuff, that was my favorite stuff that he used to do.
Oh, what was that?
No, I really agree with everyone.
I think it's the one with Jay Washington that Jay like actually like walks off the interview,
Yeah.
if I'm mistaken. That was a good one.
I mean, like some of the stuff he did, I know he's done some good, like I mean, of course, when myself, I'm dressed as Face Ken during the time of season 4 when Inside Schmoedown was a thing, and he had like some good stuff, like some good interviews, like talking with Clark, talking with Jay, obviously, talking with Emma. Like he definitely knew, like he was really a very, very good host, and I was glad it came back in season 6 when it was pure heel Ken. That where you saw so much of that character come out. Like it didn't matter who we had on there. If it was either Roxy Stryer, if it was Jeff Snyder, or even no, he didn't have McCook on the show at one time. But just
I don't think so.
It was just like Ken. He exactly the balance of great humor. He was just there. His job was naturally just to have a great conversation with people, while also still hyping up the Schmoedown and highlighting RB3 when something happens. Like,
and giving the shots when it's needed to the certain competitors, praising the heel characters. Like I said, man, Bobby the Brain Heenan all the way. You guys should really go back and check out Bobby the Brain Heenan's behind the desk stuff when he was on things like All Star Wrestling and stuff, and you'll see quite the parallel between the two. It's
okay. Okay, guys, I need to ask we can all go round table on this, but before we talk about moments, out of Napzok's entire career, other than, I know this is going to be brought up again, but your favorite matches, I mean, obviously, other than the Iron Man match, what would you guys think is
not
your
fair,
favorite?
Ryan. Not fair.
We took time looking at his career. I'm just saying, like, if you want to make it challenging.
I really think that mine is the Force Jedi Council. That's my favorite.
Mine is Lions Den versus Shire Wolves.
Mine, and he didn't win this one, but it was the banter is the JTE Ken Napzok one. The hate they had for each other, like you can feel it was palpable, right? And I love seeing that.
Well, yeah, you can always tell when they're friends because they know just how far they can go.
Like, how far can I push it without crossing that line?
Yeah.
And him shooting this, like, you lied yourself on the show, like when he was jabbing at GTE.
Exactly, and that's what put butts in seats is you have to sell the next event.
Yeah.
Leo, Jesus Christ, I was just going to say that. Nerd Watch versus
It's not MODOK, though. It's not MODOK yet.
Yeah, not at that time.
I understand,
It's
Leo.
Rotten Tomatoes.
They changed it. Yeah. They changed it to MODOK afterwards, Leo, but I see exactly. Oh, no. Okay, Brian, that's a good match. Nerd Watch versus Good Action.
Wasn't that Action's first match?
Their second match.
Their second.
It was when they came out, they came out with their mothers in that match. And they were trying to be the goody two-shoes guys. And that is also a good match because that went to sudden death as well.
Mm-hmm.
To where, like, it was so close. Like, the back and forth between them. The first they buzz in, they get a question wrong. And then it was like, it took, like, Ken and Rachel together getting a question right. Like, Rachel buzzes in, and then once they get their question, like, she and Ken had to collaborate to make sure it was right. So that is a good match.
Yeah.
Ken has a lot of good matches that are not Star Wars. Like, I think people just assume they hear the name Ken Napzok, they automatically go to a Star Wars match.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think he's a lot better in teams than people give him credit for.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
And I mean, cop out answer, but my favorite match of his is Nerds Watch versus Blofeld's cat.
That's good for storytelling purposes. That's a good one.
I mean, technically he's not in the match, but
Yeah.
He's in the match.
But the
He's
story that
technically there.
He's on the card, damn it.
Okay, Brandon, I'm sorry for that crippling leg. Like, if you want to talk, you can definitely talk about the Iron Man match. I just wanted to see, like, out of the breadth of his career.
I'm just trying to think. Like, I did enjoy their match against Above the Line, which was Above the Line's debut match, and they almost beat him. They almost beat them in that match. They go 3 for 3 in round 3 with the movie taglines as their 5-pointer.
Yeah. That was, and of course, that was like, even that was also a civil match too. Like, Sam and Drew were there for the fun of it. So many clips from Sam was just off of him. And then, of course, we all know that the question Drew gets in directors. It was just like, which MCU director directed The Rocketeer? And he's just, oh, Joe Johnston. Just like that. He just didn't have the care. And then, that I do agree with you, Brandon. They came close to beating them. The only difference was that Above the Line got Spinner's choice in round 2. So that was also another situation. If they didn't get Spinner, how that match would have gone.
And I agree with Brian Nussbaum, Nose versus Ken. And Nose is also one of those guys, a very underrated, quick whip kind of guy.
I wish he'd come back for the desk. I really do.
Well, no, Ken has also said if there's an opening on the desk, he'll be there.
No, I'm talking Nost.
Oh, no.
Nost, yeah.
For him to play again? Yeah.
Not to play. I want him as on the desk.
Has he ever been on the desk?
No, but I think just because of what Luke just mentioned, because he's also quick-witted, he's good with the quips, he's laser-focused. I mean, hell, when he said to Bateman, good one. Like, the timing on that guy is amazing.
I don't want him to be on the desk for a Roka match.
Oh, God. Yes, please.
Oh, hell yeah.
Imagine Napzok and Nose at the same time on the desk. Oh, good Lord.
Oh, God. Now,
sarcasm.
Nost on the desk for a Snyder match.
I think you could get past the first round.
Okay.
You can get past the first
Napzok,
round.
Nost for a Roka Snyder singles match.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Harloff, book it.
That would be perfect.
Make it happen. Let's go.
Book it.
That's exactly what I want to see. Hell, even have just like Nost. I mean, look, I love the fact that we got Jen back during the spectacular, and I really hope she's coming to be on the desk more. I know she's quick-witted as well. I would love for her just like a combination of him and Jen on the desk. And hell, if we do get Nost, just have Jen there during the post interviews and just see. And if Ken and Nost are just there, just have her make some great facial reactions to their band.
Yeah,
because she doesn't miss a beat.
No, her and Napzok would be a great combo for the desk.
Oh my God,
a permanent combo.
Like, there's so many amazing combos that they could do on the desk. I'm like, Christian, Mark, I love you guys, but I want to see other people on the desk to see what kind of chemistry and like what they can offer on the desk.
You know who I love on the deck together with Ken and Roxy. I know that can't happen because Roxy's a manager now, but that was a fun dynamic.
Well, there were some stretches with Roxy, even when she was managing the Odd Couple. She was on the desk during when they were
but Harlem said no manager.
Yeah.
that's right.
I'm just gonna shout out the probably unreal theory, but fight the system. You kept saying it. What if Napzok is behind the Schmoedown?
It was me, Harloff. It was me all along.
What if he created the system himself?
This would also be hilarious.
Oh God.
Wow.
That is great, Lou. That is great. That would be perfect because Harloff loves doing storyline writing for matches. He loves doing storytelling. That'd be a great echo back to like season 5 to where Ken was like, even during the time when Mike was forming corruption, the whole point of corruption was to fight the corruption, but then they became the corruption. So it'd be a great echo Star Wars reference to Ken fighting the system to becoming the system, and now he's running the system. Wait, hold on. I fought the system. Now I am the system. Now I am running the system. The system is me, and I will destroy all of you.
Oh man!
Yeah, just by saying that, if you're still watching, I'm really sorry if that's the show. And don't appear behind me and kill me. I'm really, really sorry. All right.
Okay. So I actually have. Here, let's pull this up.
Go for it.
Exactly. You need someone to kind of keep it on track. If you have just two people that go off the rails, the match isn't going to go anywhere.
Of course, and I was wondering about that, going back and watching, because Harloff was the one on the desk for the not Nerds Watch, Lions Den Shirewolves. I was wondering about that, just how much producing goes on with the commentators, because that one was kind of little off the rails, so to speak, with all like the barbs at Dagnino's sake and all that stuff.
So the amazing 50 Shades started working on a little video here for Ken's top moments, and I think it was Ryan who brought this one up. So let's go ahead and just play it real quick.
Business. This is my title. People seem to forget that. You know what are you doing? You know me. This isn't you. You know me. If you want to contact me, you have to contact me. Don't bring that guy on the Schmoes show anymore. Yeah. Running around. Then he starts making sense. You did this, though. You did this. This isn't Rachel's fault. This isn't Emma's fault. This isn't anyone's fault. Right. It's your fault. You're going from cheers to booze, pal. No. Cheers to booze. No, it doesn't matter. Booze don't matter when you're winning gold. They're going to I will feed off their hate. This is my time. My time. I don't need any of you. I don't need Rachel. I have new friends now. I have new power. And this, for once in my life, is about me.
Yeah. I still say his best promo.
That shit-eating grin. That shit-eating grin he has.
Yeah. He is Schmoeminati. More I think about it, he is a freaking Schmoeminati. It makes so much sense.
Yeah. All right. When we find out, and Frenchie is right, we'll have to clip this out.
Wait, Ken, is this true?
I will like lord it over him because he didn't believe in it for so long, and I've been talking about it since the
it's
start.
True. It's true.
I have no choice to believe it. There was a cutscene of it. At one point, I have to admit, it exists.
I told you. I've been telling you, and now if you guess the leader before I do, that'll be disappointing, and I'll actually implicate yourself. But
we shall see there.
Yeah.
All right. Look, out of Ken as a host, I mean, literally, this guy has covered every part of the Schmoedown. He's been a player. He's worked as both a face and a heel. He's been a manager. He's been a fucking interviewer. He has been a host. He's been on the desk, commentator, literally, and he's been a champion. So Ken has pretty much he's checked the box on literally almost everything in the Schmoedown to where, and when he did announce that retirement, even though heartbreaking it was, he really has done everything he had to do in the Schmoedown. I mean, his retirement, compare with the retirements that we had, like legitimate retirement, people who have not come back. Compare it with Sam Levine, Rachel and Clark, and of course this season with Drew McWeeny, which I hope he does come back. But if he doesn't, oh my God, it's been like one of the most heartbreaking moments of
and out of nowhere.
I still don't get that. I really don't. It was just so weird.
It was out of nowhere, but I think that's just mostly due to he probably got busy in his life and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. But he only broke up if he would have lost, right? So if he would have won, he would have continued. That for me doesn't fit the whole scheduling thing. If he would have continued, if he would have won, so
I don't know.
I think that would have been a very tricky angle and something that maybe Christian could if the family did win, Christian would have tried to quickly, he would have fast tracked that title shot match if Drew wasn't going to be able to continue to win. But if there was no exception, I'm pretty sure Drew he still would have announced his retirement at that time.
I think Drew had some stuff in the works, but then the pandemic happened. So
Yeah, man, that makes sense.
I think that.
Why did you not come back though?
I think most. I don't want to speculate. I mean, I don't want to assume why he didn't come back, but I think maybe because of what happened during this pandemic, some of the things he was working on may have fallen apart. So maybe he just had to like reevaluate and try to like what all of us did this year. We had to reevaluate what we still had and what we lost, or like just like financial or just like personal gain wise, and try to see how long we could try to maintain our sanity this year.
And you know what? I don't think it would have worked if he came back. I say next year. Give it time. Give it time to breathe.
I don't see him as a online match type of competitor.
No,
because
me neither.
I just like I am so appreciated that we got these online matches, but it doesn't feel like the Schmoedown to me. And having to go back and rewatch these studio and live event matches just
makes you miss it, doesn't it?
Yeah, just the production value of these studio matches are just leaps and bounds better than these online matches.
And just think, we still have Skybound era to come.
Yeah.
I just want to to you guys regarding with the studio and online matches. Like this year, we've seen Ken play, of course, on online, and of course we've seen Ken play in the studio. It's without a question, Ken is a better. I mean, it's obviously shown Ken is fantastic in the studio. But Ken was really given the time. I mean, just this season, looking at him on the online format as a manager and as a player, was this like a really good highlighted moment for him? Because for me, I think he was good as a manager. Like he did a great.
Yeah, the bit with him and Hannah around the time of when Ken took over was pretty good.
And first of all, shout out to the pink hoodie, man. Long live that pink hoodie.
Yes.
Yeah. I think for one, like the digital age brought some people's like creativity to a different level, and Ken is definitely one of those. I wouldn't even say he was better or worse in one or the other, because you have that great Star Wars promo just done in his backyard. He actually delivered great managerial advice in all of the matches. And also that's on top of like taking over a faction he didn't need to and entering a tournament he might not have wanted to play in, and all of this stuff. Like he like takes on anything that he needs to get the job done, and I think he did super well.
Ben, your thoughts? You have anything to add?
I mean, he can, for what he was given, I thought he adapted very well this year. I thought he showed up, he did what they asked him, and then worked. I'm sad we're not going to see him again until in the studio, whenever that might be. I think rather than later.
Yeah, and I do want to bring up, Daniel was right. He did give some great managerial advice to the players that he had when he took over, like especially during the singles tournament. We saw him give great advice to Jader. We saw him give. I mean, Brandon and Ben already know I talk about that Bonnie and Marisol match. That was Bonnie's best performance because Ken was in her corner. Yeah. And then also even Whitney Seibold's match and oh my God, who was the? I mean, even though Whitney Seibold was a bit behind, Ken still did a good job. Oh, Duralde, Whitney and Duralde's match. Even though they lost in their first round, Ken did a good job just trying to remind them to keep their heads focused. And as much, I would have loved to have seen a different team other than Hannah and Jader. But it was just like, yeah, Ken shows up. He's there to talk. Really put the attention on him, so there's not too much stress on his team. I think he did that great facet as a manager.
Okay, would you say? Where's that coming from?
I think this list, yeah.
Oh, okay. No, where would you say Ken ranks in terms of importance to the Schmoedown? Because obviously we know it. Mark and Christian started it, and then you got like players like Rachel for excelling Intergeek and whatever. Where do you think Ken stands in terms of that legacy? Because people don't talk about it, but he's pretty much been there since the beginning.
Yeah,
I put him right above. I put him and Walker on the same level.
Yeah,
Like right there since the beginning. I mean, Walker Yeah, we're same level. Same level of importance, in my opinion.
That was a great question, bro. Brandon, Dan, you guys like where do you feel that his important? Where does Ken like pretty much what Soda said? Where do you feel that Ken's legacy, his importance is into the Schmoedown? Like his.
I don't think we'd have the Schmoedown without Ken because his ability to cut a promo is, I think, underappreciated by a lot of fans. They don't. I guess they just think it's guys just acting, saying like just guys acting, but it's not that. Being able to cut a promo is a task that not a lot of competitors have, and I feel like if you're not able to cut a promo, there's only Christian may not feature you as much because it could just like I feel like when we first got Chance, I think that's why they paired Mike, Chance, and Ken together, so Ken could kind of be the mouth until Chance really got a grasp on it, which I feel Chance has it now. So I think, and we wouldn't have the Star Wars division without the Pit Boss.
Of course. He is the Star Wars division.
Yeah. Like because who wants to watch Whitwer against Campia? I don't know a lot of people.
When we saw with Alex Damon when he won the belt against Bruce Green, that was a pretty rough match. So it makes sense that we got.
Yeah, but there's reasons for it being rough because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it like very last minute?
Yeah, it was. I'm not trying to use that as an example to say that Bruce Green's not a great Star Wars player. It was just that last minute, didn't have much prep time. I completely get it. But even then, what was Al's first defense? It was against Ken. And it was just like with Ace. Once again, Alex Eden's credit, Ken had bring him into the Schmoedown, really like being a mentor to him.
Ken has said he watches Alex's channel to study.
Yeah, I know, like, man.
I think everyone watches his channel.
Yeah.
I mean, including Molly as well, including Molly. And even, I think I remember, I can't remember where it was, but no, it was like during when I was watching the Schmoedown after show. Someone had said when he came with Alex and Molly, it's like Molly even sometimes like she gives she quizzes Alex before his matches. So I really think that those two like a really good like power team, not just power, but they're a good function together within Star Wars. So I know this season, if by any chance we do see Molly play for the belt, that is a true that's really going to be cut down the middle for me personally.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
And for me, like going on what you said for the legacy of Ken Napzok, right, is he makes it look so easy in anything he does. Player, manager, on the desk, he does it so perfectly that it's hard to do one thing. He touches everything and with effortless, really effortless. And you gotta know yourself and know your skills to be that good in everything.
Yeah, totally. He is the complete package, the total package, if you were.
Yes, while he hits a little bit of every aspect, I believe like his true legacy lies in character because of that. Because he does play like 4 distinct ones as the like heel, as the face, as the commentator, and as like the manager. He is different levels of his own character.
Yeah, and that's the beauty. Again, back to wrestling, they always say the best characters are the ones that are most like their real life counterpart. You see that with Ken. It's just he's highlighting different facets of his character and turning it up just a little bit, and that's what makes him so good. Is you're getting Ken, you're just getting a slightly heightened version of Ken.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people inside the Schmoedown that you could really say he's done everything. He's competed in singles, competed in teams, competed in Star Wars, he's on the desk, has managed. There's a lot of competitors you'll see is like been on the desk, singles, and teams, but not managed. Desk, singles, teams, Star Wars. Like, can cut a killer-ass promo. Ken checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
Soda, maybe you can help me. There's an expression in French, un homme à tout faire.
Sorry, say that again?
Un homme à tout faire.
I've actually never heard that saying.
It's a jack of all trades.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
He's the jack of all trades of Schmoedown.
Yes.
He is a true Renaissance man.
Yes.
Yeah, he's I would say he's a revolutionary, but it's just like building off. Ken is literally
He
like
might
that.
be the only one who could really say that about. Like everyone else that I can think of, if they haven't been a manager, or if they're a manager, they weren't the best competitor. Like,
Well, I was gonna say Roca, but I mean Roca's only managed like once or twice.
but he's not.
But he's But Roca is another example of someone who's adapted with the times. He's a Renaissance man in that sense. Ken is a Renaissance man where he can do a little bit of everything.
Has Roca been on the decks though?
No.
Early days, yes. Early season 3. Yeah.
Season 3, he's been on that deck.
And remember, he was also a backstage interviewer also during season 3.
Yeah. Season 3. Brandon, or we'll continue talking about this till we're blue in the face about season 3 and 1 and 2. Those are definitely complete different eras. Like season 3, they used everybody during that time of Collider era season 3. Like Roca interview, Riley was interviewing, Josh McCouga was an interview. Like oh my god, that one thing we definitely didn't talk about in our McCouga match was him as an interviewer, and then also I believe he was also on the desk for the Nerds Watch for his Above the Line, so it made that match even more enjoyable to watch.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, for me personally, because Roca hasn't been on the desk recently, I don't think, and he's not really officially managed. He managed Dan at the Atlanta live event,
and that no.
Yeah,
about the other one because it's not on YouTube yet.
No, but no, I just Ken is one of my favorites in the Schmoedown, and it's because Ken that I got into the Schmoedown. I've met Ken twice, and he's just always been a pleasure to just chat with. So I hope we do still see Ken plenty of times on the desk, because I love Ken on the desk. I think that's my favorite thing that Ken does, is just on the desk.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, anything involving a microphone.
Anything with a microphone.
The other person who has done all of those things would be Emma Fife. She's competed.
Yeah, but she was not a good player.
She's interviewed. She's been at the desk commentating.
Well, she did win 2 pretty damn important matches.
Yeah, she did.
I see where you're coming from. I do see where you're coming from. Yeah, because we covered Emma. Her player statistics, her stats may have not been that high, but in some of the matches that counted, not just the commissioner and the manageable, but she did at least get herself a good victory in IG and in singles.
Yeah,
so she has at least had some winning record in divisions. But yeah, Emma was just
the closest one that you could say probably is a jack of all trades.
Wait, did Sam Levine ever be on the desk?
Yeah,
I think he did.
I believe
once.
So. Yeah,
just once.
Yeah, it was the whole of an Ellis match. It was exhibition, but it's on YouTube.
Yeah, but didn't he also do an actual match during his run as a champion? Like, I have a recollection of that.
I know during
run
early
as
season 16,
commissioner, actually.
Yeah, he was commissioner, as well. But yeah, early season 6, he was on the desk. I think it was on the desk for either Rachel or Clark's number 1 contendership match, but he was on the desk when he was a champion, single champion. So he has been.
I'm sorry. Can I just say something really quick? While we're talking about Sam? Fun match to go back and rewatch is a Sam Levine versus Rachel Cushing match.
I forgot they played each other.
Yeah, that's a fun match to watch.
In hindsight,
Rachel was his first defense. His singles champ. And then came Clark Wolf. And then I believe, he demanded twice. And then, of course, he won the team's championships. And then after he defended with Above the Line, he retired.
Yeah,
because it was just... God, it was so typical.
Any parting thoughts about...
guys.
Ken, you're awesome. We love you, man. And we can't wait to see you back. And I missed that ponytail, to be honest. My first introduction was the ponytail. I want to see the ponytail again.
For me is because of people like him and Schnepp, I have a more positive outlook on fandom. You love what you love, you celebrate what you love, and if you don't like it, that's okay. That's part of being fandom. It's all objective. And also, I'm glad that you retired the drunk movie fights belt. Hands down, my favorite Napzok thing ever is the drunk movie fights curtailed right into the drunk news. And if you guys have not seen that, I highly recommend you go back and watch it. They've cut it all out, so you don't have to watch the whole episodes. But man, genius. And
send me the links.
I will. And still, after all these years, kudos to you, Ken, for pulling Brad Pitt's age.
Yeah, I'd love to shout out also, not Schmoedown, but his podcast Casterly Talk is always fun. Like, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, and like Soda says, just hearing somebody who talks about it from like a viewpoint of loving it, even though I hate it a lot at times, it's great to hear like people who do just enjoy it for it being there.
It's not a small contribution.
Yeah, you're not a small. Yeah, no.
He's being humble, guys.
I know. But
how's this one for you, Ken? You're Pat Patterson.
We've been buttering him up so much today.
But I mean, it's hard not to. Like, is there really any bad thing you can say about Ken Napzok as people who don't really know him?
No.
If you're just watching it as a fan from the Schmoedown perspective, and
Brandon, you've got to put up 50 Shades comment, because that is the funniest moment from that drunk movie fights. Brad Pitt turns women into water slides.
What I'm saying is, if you take it at face value and you think this is all real in the Schmoedown, what he kind of did to Rachel was kind of rude.
Oh yeah,
that's the only thing. But us as super fans, we know that's not who he is. Mm-hmm. We know that him and Rachel are still, as Daniel was saying, they have Casterly Talk, where they're currently going back and doing basically a rewatch of every single episode. It's so amazing. Like Daniel said, I love, because I enjoy Game of Thrones as well. I'm not like a super diehard, but I love hearing Ken.
Sorry.
I called him Pat Patterson.
Yeah.
I love hearing Ken talk about it.
I love hearing Ken talk about wrestling.
Nothing bad to say. As hardcore fans, we know who he is. But you see, like, my girlfriend, she's starting to watch Schmoedown, and the first time she saw him, the first thing she said is, "What's his deal?" Right? So,
what match was she watching though?
But I forgot. I forgot which one. To be honest, I've like been showing her some past things, and she I was confused about Finstock the first time I saw him. She was confused about Napzok.
I think we all were confused about Finstock the first time we saw him.
Let's be honest, we're still confused by Gucci.
Yeah.
I mean, Christian has said the first time he brought him on Schmoes Knows, Ken and Roka were so confused by him. Like Christian said, they wanted him gone, but it was because of his personality he kept going.
Ryan, any final thoughts?
I mean, look, I know Ken. He's just even if he was in the chat or not, Ken has left an incredible legacy in the Schmoedown, and just knowing from his passion of Star Wars, Ken is definitely one of the few people I would love to go back and I go back and listen to old Force Center episodes, because as a Star Wars fan, it's really difficult. Especially, like pretty much what you guys said. Yeah, you find something good and the positive in fandom. You just love what you love. Don't worry about trying to argue against people about what you like or don't like, because it just leads you down that rabbit hole of negativity. So it's always good to just remain positive and just move on. And
you're not alone, 50.
You are not alone.
But ultimately, when it comes with Ken, as a player, Star Wars fan, wrestling fan, knowing the fact that he, at the time of the Schmoedown, he was like that great combination, that great fusion of all the things I loved around that time, and made me want to become even more invested into the Schmoedown. So I would say Ken is trailblazer, revolutionary, a real good leader I honestly would say. Those are my things I would say about Ken Napzok, a great leader. And I look forward to him and Mark Riley and Josh McCouga for their new People Association. GPA, man. GPA.
Yeah, that is something you can get behind because, man, those three are just are good people, and I hope we get more Captain Learning, but that's just me.
Oh.
Ben, any last thoughts?
He's great. I met him. Yeah, he's great. I just echo everything you guys said.
Yeah, I will support Ken with whatever he does. I love listening to him on Force Center with Scrimshaw. I love listening to him with Rachel on his Game of Thrones podcast. I loved reading his Star Wars book. So Ken, you're amazing, and I hope we do see you on the desk there in season 8, the season of war. It's going to be extremely fun. Fellas, if people want to go ahead and support you and follow what you guys are doing, where can they find you?
I'll go first. You can find me on Media Sweaties Network with Ben over there on Recapping the Past, where we break down, where we review sitcoms from our past. We're almost overdone Saved by the Bell, thank God. It's not because the show is bad, it's just because the order of release of episodes is so bad. So bad. It's the worst I've ever seen. You can also find us on on Shooting the Breeze, where we sit down and we talk to people from all over the internet. We've had Lou and we've had Dan on, so definitely keep an eye out for that. And also on Sundays, we've got Get Sweaty, where the two of us, along with Soul, 50 Shades of Geek, who's in the chat, and Jordan Anderson, just come back with a top 5 of whatever, and we discuss our list. And then, of course, with these two chuckleheads over on Schmoes of the North, if you guys want to take care of that one.
Well, come join us at Schmoes of the North. We have Northern Consultations, and we have Schmoedown Night in Canada. Schmoedown Night is our sports talk about Schmoedown. Northern Consultations is our interviews with the celebrities of Schmoedown. You can also find me on the JCast Network doing speaking of Schmoedown with my man, Mr. J Wade.
Yeah, and just plug in our Facebook page at the same time, Schmoes of the North, a Schmoedown fan page, where we just kind of like congregate fans of the show, of the Schmoedown, and also run like some fantasy leagues and some fun posts throughout the year for like fans who like to actually engage with other fans and not just like see a stream of live comments that are impossible to follow, let alone like add to.
Yeah.
So come on and visit us over there. And I'm personally on Twitter at avengers, Vengers _SOTN for Schmoes of the North. And that's about it.
Yeah, I'm also on Instagram, Twitter. I forgot about that at Schmoes Soda _ Sax, man. Lou is pretty much the one who runs our normal Twitter account at Northern Schmo. And also, don't forget to join us this upcoming year, because we've been talking behind the scenes and we got some big things coming our way. We're thinking this could be the year of the North.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming. Yeah.
And by the looks outside, it's already here.
I thought that was another wrestling reference, Soda, but yeah, I like that one.
You know what? That might be one of the things coming up. Who knows?
Yeah, if everyone goes to the description of this video, you will see the link to Schmoes of the North, their Twitter and their YouTube. Go ahead there, give them a follow on Twitter. Go ahead and subscribe to their amazing YouTube. You can find us three, Brandon, Ben, and Rain, this time every Saturday. We'll be back here on our regular schedule now that kind of the holiday season's kind of wind down. You'll see my Twitter at the top there on the left, Ben's in the middle, Ryan's on the right, and in the bottom you'll see the show's Twitter, Mount Schmoedown. If you have not liked this video, please do leave a comment what you like. Maybe leave a comment on a competitor you want to see us do in the future, or just someone involved within the Schmoedown. Maybe we'll do the amazing PJ Campbell, Nerd Chronic, maybe.
RB3, Megan, even talking about like even alt ones of the past, like Brian Ward, Chris Stilisky, Jeff Hobster.
This
Toby
is
Hall,
not just
Brad
competitive.
Williams.
We want to make sure that people remember the people that got the Schmoedown to where it is today. Make sure to subscribe as well. We will see you guys next week.